Hey there, guys. Welcome. Want to say hi to you today. Listen, it's December, and as 2020 is coming to a close, we have just been reminded how challenging this year has been. But I want to take a moment to look back and where we've come from, and then take a look at the current climate for freelancers. And I want to give you my observations, and I want to see how we can take advantage of some opportunities that could be coming down the pipe here very soon in the freelance community as we move into 2021. So this has been a hard year, and I get that, but I don't want there to be there's hope, there's opportunities, and I want us to see those. So I want you to stick around. I'm going to share with you what I feel like are some opportunities in the current climate for freelancers. Hey there, my name is Matt Casner, and I'm a freelance web and graphic designer with over 25 years experience. I've been a freelancer now full-time for over 15 years, and I'm also a freelance business coach, and I help purpose-driven creative professionals turn their valuable skills and experience into a profitable and rewarding freelance business. I help others to have the freedom, joy, and rewards of running their own freelance business while serving clients that they love and taking control of their earning potential. Guys, I just want to be honest with you. This has been a hard year, and I know many of us have felt it. 2020 has been just chock full of challenges, roadblocks, setbacks, and I guess I really don't know any other way to say it than it's just been hard. And I think, to me, one of the things that's helpful in moving forward is to kind of realize where we're at. And 2020 has been a asterisk kind of in most of our lives in terms of how our day-to-day life has seriously been interrupted, changed, morphed, and in some ways for people tragic. And I don't want to dismiss any of that because it's real. It's the reality right now that we find ourselves with. It's been tough, and I think it's healthy for us to acknowledge that. I think it's also helpful for us to realize that circumstances that have happened in 2020 are out of our control. There's not things that we really could have done to prepare for this. There's really no way we could have foreseen it coming. And the aftermath and the repercussions of a global pandemic have left us in a place where we're scratching our heads, we're wondering, but it's not our fault. This is not a situation that has come about because of something that we have directly did or not did. It's just right now the reality that we live in. I have 4 kids, and one of the things that I hope that they and myself and my wife and any of us that are going through this right now, I hope that we understand that going through tough situations causes us to become stronger. It helps us to grow. It helps us to look at what we have instead of what we don't have, and to be grateful. And that heart full of gratitude looks around and says, you know, things have been bad, but here are still some good things in my life. And as 2020 comes to a close, I just want to remind each one of us that it's easy to look at the things that have happened, the bad things that have happened, the challenges that we're facing right now, the faces that we're still facing and yet to face maybe. But to look around and to see that there is an opportunity for us to find gratitude in the things that we do have, the blessings that are in our life that do matter. And that, honestly, we can't put a price on. And so I hope as we kind of wind down 2020, that would be where our minds would be, to look back and say, you know what, we've come a long way, and it's been tough, but we're stronger for it. I remember my grandparents, before they passed, would talk about living through the Depression and the challenging times that was. And I look back at them, and I know them only as older adults, and understanding now that when they were younger, they went through some very trying times. And it was a trying time that everyone went through. It wasn't just a few. So it gives me hope that we can endure. It gives me hope that we're strong and that we can persevere and that we can make it through this and that we'll come out stronger on the other side. That's the reality. But as freelancers, I want to take a moment to share some of my observations in terms of what I see is potentially happening in the freelancing space, and look at maybe what some advantages and opportunities that we have as freelancers, and what are some real action steps that we can take moving forward into 2021. Now, I want to just preface this by saying that some of us are freelancing by design. I've been freelancing now for 15 years, and it's been my choice. Some people are freelancing now by necessity. In other words, they're freelancing because they lost their job, because things have turned and there's opportunities that people are finding working from home now that they didn't have before. And there's this really big shakeup right now in the workforce. And if we are freelancing, I just want to point out that there are some advantages for those of us that have chose to freelance on purpose. There are some inherent advantages. Number one, those of us that have chosen to be freelancers are already used to working remotely. 2020 has introduced work from home now as the de facto standard. Telecommuting used to be something that only a few people did, and it was seen by most as kind of a fringe type of opportunity and one that didn't have, let's say, wholesale merit. But with 2020, with the pandemic, now we've seen offices literally liquidate their office spaces and moving their workforces remotely. And that has created a mixed bag of results. I think that companies overall are seeing that there are some trade-offs. There are some pluses and there are minuses. But if we're working from home already, if we're already freelancing, we've already figured out some of the hurdles that need to be overcome to be successful. Working remotely is one of them, and being productive with minimal supervision is another one. When we are able to work out of our houses, from our remote offices, and be productive, that is an advantage for us. For many people who are trying to figure out the work from home scenario, there's instability. We have, office spaces to have to worry about, and the physical environment that we work in. But freelancers typically have a lot of those questions answered already. So those are some advantages that freelancers already have. They're used to working remotely. They're okay and can thrive being productive with minimal supervision. And they already have an office space, physical environment set up. So those are a few advantages that I feel like, if you're freelancing, are kind of feathers in your cap. I want to talk to you now about what I see as some potential opportunities in the freelancing space. And I mentioned this before, but everyone has seen this massive transition from the cubicle to the home office. And that has created in itself its own challenges, but yet opportunities as well. I've talked to many business owners who are seeing now, as they talk with their leadership teams, that there are real cost savings in not having a physical space as overhead. And when they can see that it's possible for their workforce to be productive and not be in a physical space, it's making it easier for them to make decisions that are more geared toward the work from home employee than it was for the traditional in the office, in the cubicle type of situation. For us as freelancers, we understand that there's great power in working remotely. And so I think we should look at the current landscape in terms of hiring. It's going to be done in the next few years, and understand that we are in a good position as freelancers to be able to position ourselves with companies that would not have even been conceivable 6 months to 9 months ago. Companies that are now looking specifically for talent that's not necessarily within the geographic location of their corporate office. HR departments now are having to rethink how they hire and are looking at skill sets, not necessarily location. But I believe that there's another shift coming where we're going to start to see the virtual teams start to rise and become more dominant in the hiring practices of companies, where you would find an HR department typically bringing on people full time, paying salary and benefits. I believe that there's a micro shift coming where you're going to start seeing these teams being built virtually to different team members with different skill sets brought together to achieve a common goal or common purpose. But then when the common goal and purpose is completed, then to dissolve that team and then form another team around whatever the next initiative might be. Now, history might prove me wrong, but I think this is something that's at least going to play out to a certain degree in a lot of corporate hiring decisions. I think that corporate hiring decisions are going to be made based on talent and opportunity and results. And as freelancers, I feel like we have a great opportunity to position ourselves with these companies and create opportunities for us to get exposure to companies that would be great to work for, but who might not have considered hiring a freelancer or would not have been actively seeking freelance talent as much as they might be in the near future. So I want to leave you with a handful of action steps, 3 to be specific, that I'd like for you to do as you anticipate moving into 2021 and looking for opportunities to find work, and maybe in some new areas that wouldn't have been possibilities earlier. So what I'd like for you to do is, number one, I would like for you to create a dream list of companies that you would love to work for, and do some research on LinkedIn. Find companies that resonate with you, that resonate with your style. Maybe they are in a service area that connects with you. Start to develop a client list that you would love to work for. Okay, create a list. Use LinkedIn as a research tool. Then number 2, I want you to start to research within that company a couple of key positions. Look for, number 1, an HR director, or perhaps a managing supervisor, or a marketing director, or a media director, or a creative director, or whatever type of management position within that company that might be interested in hiring talent for their company. All right. And what I'd like for you to do is, number 3, I would like for you to create an introduction, a simple message that is sent to them that says, "Hi, I am Matt, and I do X, Y, and Z, and I would love an opportunity to be able to talk with you about potential opportunities that might be coming up within your company." And then provide a way for them to be able to reach you, maybe through a Zoom meeting, or maybe give them a link to your portfolio, so they can check you out and they can see the work that you've done. The idea is that we want to be able to get our face, get our information, the skills and services that we provide in front of the people that are making decisions. Over the next year or so, There will be a lot of hiring being done. I get emails in my inbox every week, companies that are looking for talent. And the emails used to say, must be willing to relocate, because the job was a full-time position in an office somewhere. Those emails no longer say that. They're no longer looking for talent that is specific to a location. So there's opportunities for us to connect with companies that may not have been options in the past, but if we can find a company that we would love to work for, if we can find a contact at the company that we can introduce ourselves to, and then create an introductory message that we can forward to them to start a conversation, then if we can do that, if we can send out, let's say 5 to 10 emails a month, that's not undoable, I don't think. Over the course of 2021, we'll have reached out over 100 times to 100 businesses that we connect with, that we would love to be working with. So one of the things I want to leave you with today is that I know right now 2020 is been hard, but 2021 is right around the corner. And I would love for us to take advantage of opportunities that are sitting right in front of us right now, and take a moment to be grateful that we have an opportunity to take positive action and to make some connections with people who need the services that we provide. Guys, I hope this has been helpful. Please leave me a comment below and let me know. Also want to invite you to sign up on the link below for a podcast that's going to be releasing here in just a couple of weeks. It's a podcast that I'm creating for freelancers that's all about how to grow a freelancing business. I'm going to be sharing with you out of 15 years of experience that I've accumulated as a full-time freelance web and graphic designer. And I'm going to show you the tips and the strategies that I use to grow my own business. So if you're interested in that podcast, I would encourage you to click the link below and jump on the wait list, and I will make some big announcements, and you'll be the first to know when the podcast releases. Okay? I'm so excited. I can't wait for you to join. And until then, I hope you have a blessed day. God bless.